Nope, no, it's actually you count up. So you start from 0. These are drink stand scorekeepers, made in-house. You put your drinks up in the cups here, and then you use these clips. You just move them up and down to keep score.
And that's just your own invention? Right?
Yeah, a lot of this stuff I've seen similar ideas, and I try to make something here in the shop.
Right.
Fairly quick to make, and
awesome.
These are made to come apart for traveling. So
that's good. You just pop them in your trunk.
A lot of people like to take these games to the
friends'
stadium,
houses,
Bills games.
Right.
So you try to make everything a little bit portable. The boards, just lift them up, legs fold in.
Nice.
Makes it easy for traveling.
Right. And they're super diesel. Right. Awesome.
So I make a few different types of cornhole boards here. Standard backyard sets are 3/4 inch plywood. We've got 2x4s. You've got legs on these that'll fold out from the inside. These are fairly inexpensive materials.
Right.
So this is just for the standard backyard cornhole player.
Okay, well, here, let's go down here, too. This is the inception of this idea. It wasn't furniture. It was these boards, like straight up.
Yeah, yard games. The very first thing that I started making was Yardzy, which is just a big fence post chopped up into cubes and sanded and routed. You put dots on it.
Right.
Put a bucket together, and it's just an outdoor dice game.
Right. And I love the workshop. Do you know what I mean?
So everything is sort of made in stages. Plywood comes in through the overhead garage door.
Right.
They drive it in, and everything is stacked up over here by the saw.
Right.
And I've got a panel saw against the wall. We use that to cut the plywood in half, and then we use my table saw to cut the half of the plywood in another half.
Right.
In the stack here, we've got 2x4s. With those, we cut all the 2x4s in advance. Just like anything, you want to, time is money. So.
Yeah, because you're not making them like it's not it's like a one-off.
Correct, right. So this kind of evolved from working out of my garage, making a few sets for about a year, and after a year, I decided to quit my job of 15 years and try making a go of this full time. Started out working in my garage, and then I had a shop around the corner for a year, and then I moved here about a year and a half ago.
Right.
And basically everything that's in the shop is laid out for efficiency. So again, plywood comes in the door, we cut it, bring it over to another station, which is back here. We use that to cut the hole.
So it comes in.
This contraption, we basically take a half or a quarter sheet of plywood, we slide it into this jig, and then we take a drill, we drill a hole through the center.
Get your placement, right?
And then we use this router. It's got a special router bit on the end. We put that in the hole, turn the router on, and this router bit with the bearing on the bottom basically follows this template.
Okay.
And trims out the hole really fast. And after that's done, we end up with lots of scrap pieces like this.
Gotcha.
After we cut the holes out, then I have 2x4s that we cut in advance.
Okay.
And then today it's kind of a mess over here, but we have tables laid out here for building cornhole boards. So this table here, again, we have some other stuff going on.
Right.
We assemble the cornhole boards on top of this table. After they're assembled on this table, we take them over to this pile and we put legs on them.
I see.
And then after the legs are on them, we throw them up in the pile. So this is roughly 250 unfinished cornhole boards.
Wow.
So what happens is once the weather turns nicer, at least in my experience the last few years of doing this, this pile of boards is only going to last maybe a month and a half once Father's Day and 4th of July gets here. So we try to build up as many as we can for spring. And then this station over here, we line up a bunch of boards on here, and these are in the middle of getting vinyl wraps put on them. And then we put several coats of polyurethane on these, let them dry, and then we take them down and they're ready for sale. I have a big 30-inch wide vinyl printer at home.
Oh, you do? You print them?
I print all my own vinyl decals and wraps.
Rob,
These are called a vinyl wrap. It covers the whole board. I do smaller decals. I can do boards that are stencils with stain or paint.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
but the fact that you have it in-house is really.
I didn't always have a vinyl printer. There was just something, when you buy vinyl as much as I needed to buy and have to drive and pick it up. I can turn around cornhole boards sometimes same day and next day, even custom orders.
Oh, you can?
So I have a machine in the office that lets me do stencils. So if somebody came to me today, I could potentially cut out stencils and do a board in stain or paint same day. If I need to do custom vinyl wraps or decals, I can usually turn them around within 24 hours.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, that's huge. So that keeps you like...
So just like you probably edit all your own video, I go home and I sit in front of the computer and I design up a wrap, and printers are right at home, and I can print the decal, bring it here tomorrow, and pull a couple boards down and wrap them and clear coat them and get them right out the door.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's one advantage that I have over some of my competition is that, having the vinyl printer and having a shop like this and having the boards built.
You cannot.
Summer's short in Buffalo.
You have to. Time is of the essence.
So you don't want to wait 2 to 4 weeks for cornhole boards. You order online, same thing. You might be waiting a couple weeks for them to get shipped, and I can do boards even while customers wait sometimes, depending on what the design is. If it requires a custom decal, I have to do that at home and bring it out the next day.
Right.
But some boards I can take, for example, these boards right here. These are a nicer tournament style board that I make. It's made out of a nice Baltic birch plywood cabinet grade. It's got a special frame made out of poplar. They're all screwed together from underneath. It's just basically what you see on TV.
So those are like what you would see in a competition.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so it's similar like a bowling alley because you got the duality of the wood colors, so you got this beautiful stain on them.
Right. Yep. So I could take potentially boards like this and cut out a decal in my office here and put that on these boards, and
you're good to go.
Could be custom if I wanted to. So I communicate with people through Facebook, text message, of course. People come into the shop.
Right.
But at some point somebody's sending me some type of computer file unless I can Google it.
Okay.
And Father's Day is fast approaching, and that's probably my busiest time of year is Father's Day and 4th of July. Obviously, weather starts getting nice at the beginning of summer, so everybody wants cornhole boards for their husband, boyfriend. And,
right.
Yeah, this was a custom design that I came up with, obviously using team colors from Buffalo.
Right. But I love the look of them. You got the skyline of the Buffalo, the 716, and you must sell a ton of these. Right?
Absolutely. These designs here in the front are the most popular designs.
So it's obviously your thing, right?
Yeah, really. Absolutely.
Outside, now the competition boards, is that a style that we would see like almost everywhere?
Yeah, a lot of people when they get into the tournament style boards prefer to either have them just plain with some clear coat on there, or maybe a simple stain design. People that buy these aren't necessarily interested in decals and graphics on their boards.
Just want to play, right?
They just want a nice, smooth, smooth sliding board.
Right, and I see you've got the Canisius High School here. That logo, and that's awesome. So
that's a custom order.
Right, and people should know that that's kind of what this is about. So how many boards do you have in stock at any given moment? Do you try to keep a certain amount?
I right now probably have about 150 finished cornhole boards, plus 250 unfinished boards. We also stock all sorts of accessories. So these are all different color light rings for the cornhole boards.
Okay.
They mount up from behind the cornhole board. They come with all the hardware. They run on AA batteries. They're LED lights, so the batteries last a long time.
Right, it's super fun for outdoor summer.
Yeah, it gets late at night. You still want to keep playing, so these will light up the holes. This item here is rope lighting.
Okay.
This will actually go around the outside of a cornhole board. I have set installed right here. So this is wrapped around the outside. All the clips and screws come with it to attach them.
Nice.
Just some AA batteries, and you're good to go.
Right. And now the bags. We were talking about the bags when you guys were playing. So there's official sanctioned bags, and then there's just standard everyday fun bags.
So over here, these are a standard corn bag. 6 inches by 6 inches. They weigh roughly a pound, and they're filled with corn. So
that's the inception of this whole game. So we should really, right? I mean, this was a game that was developed in a rural environment. Right, and somebody
and I'm sure just finding materials that are inexpensive.
Sure.
So
burlap, corn.
Yeah, getting feed corn and stuff is super cheap. So
and that's how this whole thing started. Before it was a competitive thing, it was just these corn bags and right.
Yeah. Most people, you start with corn bags, and obviously the sport's grown and it's on TV. So the people that obviously get serious into playing the game instead of a corn bag, they opt for something like these bags that are filled with plastic resin pellets instead of corn. I carry bags from at least 6 to 8 different manufacturers right now.
And now, so these, is this something that you're so specialized in this? Are these bags really proprietary to your business, or?
Nope. These bags are made all over the country, and in this case, these are made from a gentleman up in Kitchener, Ontario. Everybody uses potentially different materials, slightly different sizes.
Right.
But
when you play competitively, you have to use a certain style bag, like you showed those.
Right. Every bag that I sell over on this side of the shop here is tournament approved for the American Cornhole League.
Okay.
So you can use them in competitions. They've all been, they go through a process that they're approved, and they have to have, like this is called a perfect series from allcornhole.com. When you show up at a tournament, they know there's certain bags that are approved, and they have to have, this
logo on them.
The writing. There's all different styles. This gentleman's up in Michigan. These guys are in California. I believe this guy's in Michigan. This gentleman is in Cleveland, Ohio.
Awesome.
So there's bags, from everywhere. There's even a lot more that I don't carry here.
I mean, this is kind of like a community too at this point now, right? I mean, it's like a whole thing. I mean, this isn't just like some people are playing hyper competitive.
Yep. There's tournaments all over the country. There's local tournaments, regional tournaments, national tournaments. There was one recently down in Fort Lauderdale, national tournament. And there's some people that actually travel to these tournaments from in the Buffalo area.
Sure.
And there's some prize money.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask. Yeah. So it's kind of like how bowling was getting popular in probably the 20s and 30s, right? And it just climbed up to the mid-century. So what stage are we in with this sport? Still in its infancy, or?
I think so. I think it's been on ESPN for 2 to 3 years now. So obviously, as it gets more exposure, prize money grows and that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
But there are definitely people all over the country. I think here in Buffalo, the sport is growing.
Sure.
Down south, it's definitely more popular, I think.
Well, because of the longer season, I'm sure. Like out west and down south, right?
Right.
And so now anybody, they can order them online from your site, right?
Yep, I have a website. I also have a Facebook page.
Okay.
I have an online store that you can order most items that you see here. You can order it for pickup. You can order for shipping on a lot of items.
And pickups, your store hours are
7 to 3 weekdays and Saturday 8 to 12.
Okay, awesome.
And I live close by, so I make arrangements to meet customers.
Right. If somebody needs you, you're here, right? Now, the other games that you have here, so I thought Yardzy was a really cool concept.
Sure.
It's something I've never seen before.
I buy the dice, but I have these bags made to put them in there.
Okay.
I sell a version in the bucket with a laminated score sheet, instructions, dry erase marker.
Okay.
But everyone gets into the supersized games.
Right.
So this is just a big version of Yardzy.
So it's a new thing? I mean, or it's been around for a while?
I think it's been around for a little while.
Yeah.
This is a game that a lot of people could make at home by just taking a 4x4 basically and making dice.
Sure, but I mean, it's nice to have it. Like, I mean, those are pretty beautiful looking.
Yep.
So
I also make, these are mini cornhole boards up here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great
So this is,
for bedrooms and basements and
college kids in their
dorms,
room.
right? Well, and we're not going to say, but you know, this is going to be an awesome drinking game.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, those are just as customizable as the large ones, right?
Yep.
And then the turnaround on those, is it about the same?
Same. Yep.
Yeah.
If I do need to do custom boards, I just have to make a small decal and bring it out the next day.
Okay.
Over against the wall there, we've also got our standard corn bags. Yeah, these bags are made out of duck cloth.
And duck cloth is
filled with corn.
Okay, and that's
it's like a canvas material.
right. And then, is there any difference between the material? Is that material on all these bags here too?
Yeah, all of these bags here are all made with just duck cloth.
But it's different though because they were telling me that these professional bags have the variant on the material.
Right. Some of these bags, like this one here, has actually got duck cloth on one side. But on the back side, you've got suede,
Gotcha.
Where a corn bag is, at least the ones that I carry, are all duck cloth and filled with corn.
Gotcha.
We also have a couple different versions of washer toss.
Okay. Now, washer toss was a game that my grandfather and I used to play. My grandfather made his. I love the fact that you have them for sale because I've never seen a washer toss for sale.
Yeah. These are all made here in the shop. A little PVC pipe, some carpeting, 2x4, some plywood on the bottom.
That's awesome, though. Now, did you play this with your family, or did you just is this kind of just?
Yeah, when I was younger, an uncle of mine, I'm not sure if he made it. Actually, back in the day, I remember it wasn't PVC pipe like this. They used a coffee can.
Yeah, that's what we did. So it was on
just materials probably that people had laying around. Getting the PVC pipe, you got to chop that up. You just put a little.
Sure. I love that you had it here. Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, So the outdoor Jenga I saw online, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, this is basically a 2x4 chopped up into 10.5 long pieces, and you can use these crates, flip them over, and build your pile up on top of the crates if you want to.
Right. And honestly, so I haven't seen that anywhere. Is that yours? I mean, is this a thing that you're doing? I haven't seen the oversized Jenga anywhere.
There are Jengas sold online that I've seen, but because of the size and weight of these, you normally get two crates, so it's obviously very big and heavy to ship. So there are some people I think that make smaller versions of it.
That's awesome.
But
there you go.
Yeah,
IT guy?
IT guy. I worked in call centers for the last 20 years, and just started making some of these yard games in my garage.
And was this just because you're like, this looks like it's fun to build, or you liked building things, or people?
I've always been the type of person that like to keep busy.
Right.
I don't like to sit around on the couch, watching TV.
Sure.
So, any free minute I have, I'm always out trying to do something. So
you're doing the IT, and then you come up with this idea. Did you see it online, or did you play it somewhere, or?
Well, we started making yardsies just. I think saw it on Facebook or Pinterest, and decided to try making a few of them.
But you had you had the gear for it already, right? You had the equipment, or?
Yeah, to make a yardsie, you just need a miter saw really and a sander, which I already had from doing some work around the house.
Right, and so the yardsie was the inception of the business,
correct.
Right, not the cornhole.
Right.
And so the yardsie started when? What year?
Probably May of 2016.
And did it take right off for you? People started buying it?
So, with Facebook and Facebook Marketplace, you can sell anything on there and there's no cost. So
why not?
List it on Facebook and sales took off. So basically every day I'd get home from work and just chopping up fence posts, making yardsie games and, selling hundreds of them. And probably after a couple months of doing that, decided to try making a couple cornhole boards.
And you totally didn't expect it to go. I mean, it's just like a thing. And
this was just something to do on the side to kill some time.
Right.
And, slowly but surely after a few months, sales took off of yardsie. Cornhole boards took off.
And then the buckets, too, I thought was a really cool, that's your own creation, right?
Yeah, I think, again, you go on Pinterest, there's all sorts of people doing all sorts of cool stuff, and lots of ideas come from looking on Pinterest, and saw something similar and just decided to try to make my own version of that.
So we're selling those by the bucketful, and then the cornhole kind of just worked itself into the yardsie because you were already making these wooden cubes. And you don't make the cubes actually, so you were assembling them. Essentially.
So I used to make all the dice.
Oh, you did make the dice
when I started.
Oh my gosh! So that was super labor intensive.
Yeah, be hundreds of dice, and with every cube here, you've got to.
Here, can you hold it up a little bit?
Yep, you've got to sand it. You've got to route the edges to make it real nice.
Right.
You got to get the dots on there somehow. So it's a very time-consuming process to make hundreds and hundreds of dice.
Yeah. So eventually that kind of gave way to the cornhole boards.
Right.
And the cornhole boards, did they take right off on you too, or?
Yep. So I live about 10 minutes away in the town of Tonawanda, and I'm right across the street from the golf course, the driving range, the golf dome, and I would just make them and put a couple in the driveway and
Oh, that's a super. You know what's funny? The synergy of you living near the golf dome and the park. You know what I mean? Because you're hanging out, and I'm sure women were like, "Honey, look at those."
Yeah, you
right?
get a lot of traffic
Right.
right by my house, busy streets. So I would just put a few of them out in front, and people would stop and buy them, and start all over again. Make a few more, sold those. Made a few more, sold those, and it just kind of took off. And after about a year, I decided to take the leap and quit my job and try doing this full time. So it was about May of 2017 when I decided.
Wow. So that's May 2017. You were just like, I'm done. I've got it. You were probably selling a good amount at
that
point.
time of year, obviously, when the weather starts turning, that's when business takes off. So I knew that, at least for the summertime, I'd have plenty of business to
Right.
to make it
And
go.
so now when you hit fall and you hit winter, did you go into your first space at that point, or?
Nope. Well, yes, yeah. After I started doing it full time in May 2017, at the end of summer, I decided to get a shop because I kind of outgrew my one-car garage at home. So
It was just like, it was probably hard to even move in there at one point,
yeah,
right?
you have a few tools and everything. It was very difficult to do it in the garage.
Yeah, between the products, right, and then the gear, and you're just out of
Raw wood,
space.
everything, right.
So where was your first shop?
Around the corner in Wheatfield.
It was. So, and you were in there for what, maybe a year or so, or 1 year?
A year, and then I found this shop, and it was twice as large. It has heat, and it's
You didn't
fun.
have heat in the other one?
It has no
that's it.
heaters in that one.
It's tough working with your hands with no heat, too,
Yeah.
right? You're
So I
like-
use propane heaters. to
Sure,
keep
sure,
warm,
but still, yeah.
But
It's nice
here,
to have.
there's a couple heaters built in here.
Right.
This location obviously has a nice garage door.
Right.
It has. It's right by the road here, so you get a lot of foot traffic.
Sure. So it really is organically grown from an idea as an IT professional into your garage at home, into your first space, and now you're into your second space, and you're slowly expanding this thing and blowing it out.
So obviously, quitting my job at 15 years is a big leap.
Oh, it's huge.
You got to pay the mortgage,
Yeah.
pay all the bills, so motivates you to do what you got to do.
Yeah, well, dude, it's the same thing with me. Like, you just have, this is your business, mine is mine. There's really nobody else involved. You have to do the things you have to do. You don't have a choice,
Right. And you learn everything just out of necessity.
Yep. Yeah, and you probably, like all of us entrepreneurs, you probably made your share of mistakes, and you learn from them and you improve as you go. And what I love about this place too is we were talking about efficiencies, and you've really turned this into. You can just see it. You can see that you've really put a lot of thought in the process, and that'll allow you to expand and scale over time.
Yeah. So I've been here a year and a half, and obviously things have changed, evolved. You reinvest some of the money into better tools. I have a panel saw in the back here that I didn't have when I started.
Right.
There's always something new.
Sure, coming up that you need.
That you could buy, if you want to invest the money in the company.
Sure.
And make it that much more efficient. And obviously, there's only so much.
Right.
One person can do.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
So either hire employees or
you just keep trying to find ways to improve your
Right.
current situation, right? And your efficiencies that we're
Yeah,
talking
so
about.
I'm out here 6 days a week right now. Summertime, I'm usually here on Sundays as well.
Wow.
I'm just trying to keep on top of
Sure.
orders. Summer is short around here, so
Right.
you know.
Well, the boards, the fact that you have so many ready to go, and you're pushing them, and they're selling fast, and you're replacing it. It's a really nice system that you have. It really is. I mean, because that's the only way you can stay on it. And if somebody's going to order 30 boards,
Right.
what do you do?
Right.
But you have them now.
Right, Father's Day and 4th of July come
Sure.
around, and it's a stampede of customers in here all day long, so you got to
and
have
that-
product built up.
Now the furniture, when did we didn't talk about that when we were doing the tour, but when did that start, the furniture?
The first year that I was still doing it on the side, I just decided to try to make, I believe, a bench or a coffee table, and I think it was a coffee table. I built the coffee table, sold it. And of course, once you sell a coffee table, people want end tables or they want sofa tables, all sorts of stuff. So it just kind of took off from there.
What was the thing? You just it was on wheels. It was like a counter on wheels.
Yeah, that was. I think the customer's going to use it as a craft sort of table.
Okay.
Could be used as a kitchen island.
But that's what I loved about the furniture that I saw. Like you have a bed stand over there,
Correct, yeah.
which is fantastic. So, it's way better than anything you're going to buy in a store.
Yeah, the bed was actually, I built one for myself just out of necessity. Everyone has a bed and you have a metal frame and you just kind of tuck a bunch of stuff underneath the bed.
Right.
And, you never go under there again to get it. So I decided to make a platform storage bed that has crates underneath to store all your items under there.
That's awesome. Now the furniture is, so there's no standard anything. This is all custom furniture?
There's a few items that I make, like benches, a coffee table, end tables that I have standard designs that I do, but a lot of the furniture is definitely custom.
Okay, and for that, consultation is necessary usually?
Most customers stop in the shop or they send me a picture of something they saw on my Facebook page and I just kind of discuss it that way.
So it's really complementary though to your business, right? I mean, it fits right in. You're utilizing, speaking of efficiencies, you're using the machines you have for a very similar purpose.
And the materials.
And diversifying your product selection without having to really reinvest in raw materials.
Correct.
Right? Which
Everything
is just
is
smart.
kind of made with the same materials, 2x4s, some plywood, storage crates that I buy.
Yeah, it's super smart, actually. I mean, it's the way you're,
And mostly I do the furniture in the winter months when I'm slower with yard games.
Right.
And usually once the weather breaks, it's usually all yard games for the whole summer, and then back in the fall I start up on furniture.
These have a stay side, so they're not gonna slide as much.
I see.
This side's gonna slide.
Oh, so but the technique then would be
different,
right?
Yes.
Depending upon the type of shot you're
the
doing.
The strategy would be different.
Right.
These basically slide both sides.
Okay.
So yeah, you could throw this and have it stop in front. Actually, I'll exchange these.
Okay, you kind of show me an example.
See if we can get this one. So if I throw it with this side down, it's going to stay.
Okay.
It's not going to slide as much. So this side will slide.
Gotcha.
I'll try to throw this before the hole.
Wow.
But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stop it.
Right.
Well, I was going to throw some on too.
Okay.
We'll get one. Now you see, this there. Because
Gotcha.
we're just trying to keep that there, not hit it. And I missed it.
Right.
So I put it. That was a perfect shot for me.
Right.
Perfect situation.
Oh, you're gonna leave that.
Not yet. Well, I saw already tonight. I was left at 1 and 17.
See, that was a perfect shot.
Yeah.